Al, I guess the spooky season isn't quite over yet. I mean, technically it is by the time you're listening to this, but for us, it is not as we're recording this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to sneak in one last thing
One last
before
spooky
before you eat all your Halloween candy and pack up all your Halloween decorations.
and become a turkey.
Please, it's before you become Santa Claus. There's no time
Are
for
we just
Thanksgiving. It's just we're straight into Christmas time.
damn? We're just ignoring the turkey sacrifice.
I mean, if you go to any store, that's going to be the case.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like,
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
it's
Mariah Carey is unfrosting as we speak.
true. She's defrosting.
She is ready. But yes, we're going to talk about something a little scary that we played
Scary.
over the weekend and a little chit chat about it, of course, here on this week's episode of the seasonal anime checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Al, and Lady
Hello.
This is episode number 410, and we're going to talk about the second DLC for Alan Wake 2.
Mm-hmm.
Very appropriate to talk about scary fall things when today was 80 degrees outside, so
Blech.
very bleh indeed.
It was
Gross.
I think 67 for me today.
That sounds better. I would take
I
that.
mean, yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I had more fall weather than you did, which
You
is
certainly
weird.
did.
What the is Indiana doing?
Good question.
That's just a good question for general life. What the is Indiana doing?
Nobody really knows, I don't think.
Certainly not me.
I think that was the record high for today.
Oh, that's gross.
Very grody. Tomorrow's also, I think, going to be a record high.
Gross.
Yay.
Boo.
Anyways, Alan Wake 2's DLC, The Lake House, came out on October 22nd of 2024, which was last week. We probably could have played it earlier, but Al was like out of commission
Yeah,
that day and for most of the week, so we waited until the weekend to play it. I mean, it didn't really
I got
matter, but
3 vaccines at once.
you did. You got the triple cocktail.
Hell yeah. I only somewhat died.
Yeah, you were better
Yeah.
than normal.
Was I?
Well, I feel like most of the time you were out.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you had a better time ish. It wasn't good, but it was a better time than you
It
usually
was a
have.
shorter time, except for like I still felt off the next day, so it was just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It do be like that. But yeah, DLC number 2 for Alan Wake 2. We played the other one earlier this year, Shut Up Train. I don't know if you can pick that up on the mic, but if you do, then you get to hear me yell at that. That's fun. Yeah, we played the second one, or the first one back in the summer. That came out in June, and now the second one is out. The more story-focused DLC of the two.
Mm-hmm.
That ties into the Remedy cinematic universe.
Yeah, and was not as funny as
No.
the Night Springs one.
No, this is more serious and grounded in the
lore.
the lore and the story. Yeah, this takes place prior to the beginning of Alan Wake 2, and also does a lot of setup for like Control 2, and some of the stuff that happens later in Alan Wake 2.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of moving parts in this here downloadable content. You play as FBC agent Estevez, who you meet later on in Alan Wake 2, as she goes to investigate the Lake House, which is they have a secret little government FBC building here in Bright Falls around the lake, the dreaded lake of Alan Wake. And things have gone wrong there, so she's got to go investigate it, and things have gone very wrong there, let's say.
Very wrong.
Yeah, so like a lot of this DLC is like it's them combining kind of like the more horror aspects of Alan Wake 2 along with the more paranatural elements of Control.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a nice mixture of those. But if you're Al here, who's only played Alan Wake, some of this is going to
Hi.
be a little lost on you, which is
Correct.
fine. That's just how this goes. Eventually, you will get that context when I play Control for you, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, now I understand things better. Yay!
Yay. I love context.
Oh, I love context. Context is great. And you also, when you play this DLC, you get new music and the classic Alan Wake outfit.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, look at this. I could play as this. And I was like, I don't think you get to play as Alan Wake in this DLC.
And you were not
Oops, the
wrong.
goops.
Dang it.
So,
I
yeah.
was a little bummed.
Tell me about your time with the lake house, Al.
I mean, you were there.
I wasn't there.
You were
Just
there.
watching you as you patiently went along and crept around all these rooms. Very
I was
scared.
scared. I was scared. I had to be careful. I didn't want any of the baddies to get me.
Grabbed by
And
the paint monsters.
oh my god, the paint monsters are like some of the scariest things I've seen in this series. I hate them. I hate them so much. Why are they like this?
Just popping out of paintings, being like, "Hey, how's it
No,
going?"
no, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That should not exist. Um, so I had to be careful because otherwise I was gonna get got. You know?
I mean, that's not wrong.
Um, but yeah, I was a little scared. Had to make sure I wasn't gonna get got. And I felt bad because you were like feeling a little unwell, and I'm just like taking forever to go through anything.
My nose is just like full on faucet, and you're just like
Just
creeping
leaking.
around. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! I was scared.
No, I know. I know how Al
Demons.
plays the scary games, and when she gets scared by menus and all that sort of stuff. So I have come to expect it. I'm not. This is nothing
Did I
new for
get
me.
scared by Menu this time?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
I wouldn't either. I
If
know I
you
got
were
scared
talking
by
about.
the paint men and like a few of the other Taken that were just
Mhm.
chilling around. And it did do some of the what?
There was the one where you went up to a window and like was looking at a piece of paper, and then one of the Taken came up and was like, "Hey!" And you were
Oh,
like,
right.
"Oh my god, I should have known this was gonna happen, but I didn't, and I got scared."
I got scared. They got me. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen because why else would they put you right there by the window? But no, I'm a dingus, and I'm like, I'm just gonna look anyway, because and I did, and I got jump scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot how to like play the game entirely, so I was like, how do I use my flashlight? Ah, help me!
And you got scared by the actual like jump scares as well. I mean, you got scared
Yeah.
a couple of times, and then like they kind of just redo it over and over enough to I was like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You expect it, and then you're like, okay, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, eventually I started to expect it. And I was like, okay, it's all good.
Just
It's all
going ooga
gravy. I got
booga.
this. I got this. I am a tough man.
I think I saw someone who worked on the game say recently they're like, maybe we did too many of those jump scare moments. It's like, you think?
Yeah, you did. You did. It's like the only negative I have about Alan Wake 2 is just too many jump scares.
I think there's an option in the game now where like you can turn those down.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I think that's the case. I could be wrong.
That would be smart. But yeah, so I was scared, but I was also doing some exploring, and I still missed stuff apparently. Partially because I don't think I went backwards when I should have gone backwards. But I was also trying to like rush through it because you were feeling bad and I was scared.
Hey,
Gotta
it's a
go
good thing I
fast.
was feeling bad, so you could rush through it quicker.
But then I missed stuff.
That's fine.
Yeah, those paint fellers, they're no bueno. They gotta go.
Yeah, but you could shoot
I
him with a
was glad that
charged
I
up
got.
grenade launcher.
Yeah, that was the cool thing is I got to like obliterate them with science.
It's very ridiculous and over the
And it's
top.
pretty good. And I was like, all right, you deserve this. There was like one time where one guy got like right up on me and I like shot him when he was like maybe 5 inches from me. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God,
Mm-hmm. And you're like,
this is unsafe. Unsafe.
you were feeling it for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I had a good time. I had an interesting time trying to unravel what was going on with the weird couple that was there. I didn't expect the one man to be French. Maybe it was hella French.
He was very French.
He was so French.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, I didn't. I was interested to see what their story was.
yeah. So essentially, like their story is like they set up the shop. The FBC set up the shop in Bright Falls because of multiple AWEs that have occurred thanks to the lake and everything, specifically because of the Alan Wake thing that has happened uh, from like the first game and everything. So they're investigating and seeing like what's going on with this thing. And this husband and wife duo are the ones running it, and eventually everything's fine for a while, but then they start having friction and they go off and kind of like go investigate their own things. The husband investigates this painter who had been who had been like under the care of like the doctor from the first game.
Hmm.
And he's trying to use this dude's paintings to gain access to the lake, essentially the power of the lake.
Hmm.
While the wife is looking at
Wait, pages.
Alan Wake manuscripts, and they're also like trying to do learning models of Alan Wake manuscripts to create their own.
Yep.
Basically, just doing generative AI, but with
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake and also just a bunch of typewriters.
Yeah, so that was wild because like in the middle of us reading through one of the things, I was like, this is just generative AI. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is what this is. Um, so that's kind of interesting to have a generative AI as a villain
Mm-hmm.
or a tool of evil.
Tool of evil.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. But yeah, basically this husband and wife have kind of like got at ends with at odds with each other, and now they're both doing their own thing, and in turn they're both kind of causing a lot of things to happen with the lake and all
Hmm.
that sort of stuff, and bad things are happening in the lake house, let's say, and just you got paint monsters showing up, and Taken are there, and the
They're
the
missing.
they're missing. The layout keeps changing. There's a painting that yells at you a lot.
Ah,
All sorts of things.
very normal.
Yeah. Very normal
Um,
things, of course.
yeah, and like there's a whole thing of like neither of them feels like they get the proper recognition. Like they feel like the other person is taking too much credit for the work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they just end up being mad at each other and splitting up. And also like there's the whole like the dude is about pie and
Yeah.
nut allergies
Yeah.
for no good reason. It's like, bro, just be respectful.
Oh.
He's like, despite some people's sensitivities to pie, I brought in pie with nuts.
And then like he reassigns the person who has the nut allergy to like a
Inventory?
inventory. Yeah. It's just like, what are you doing, dude? Bro,
Crazy.
chill.
Yeah, that dude was real mad about nuts.
Yes.
It ain't that serious, man. Some people just can't eat
No.
them.
Yeah, some people can't eat nuts.
I mean, like, that's, nothing on them. No fault of their own. Don't try and give them nut pie. Oh, I hate that I just said that phrase.
Pecan pie.
Thank you. Thank you. That sounds so much better.
Pecan.
Pecan.
Ho ho ho.
Is that even that's not even a French pie. That's a like very
No,
southern
it's just
pie.
it just rhymes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've got the pecan. Ho ho ho.
Wow.
The pecan.
The pecan.
Yeah, you're just running around the lake house and investigating everything and finding out all the messed up things that these people have been doing here, and like, just being like,
Yeah.
this all seems real bad. Also, like, things at headquarters aren't great either. So like things are just real bad for us right now.
Yeah, like there's an issue with the headquarters, which you said that what it will be explained when we play Control.
Correct. Yes.
But yeah, like that typewriter room is terrifying.
Just
It
it's
was
just
so it's so unsettling.
it's unsettling, and also you just hear multiple typewriters going at once. It's just constant.
And then people jump out and they're like,
Ooga
"Way!"
booga! I'm gonna
Terrifying.
throw things at you.
It's very rude. Like the typewriter room's already unsettling, and then you throw men at me. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. Yeah, I think Estevez was like she was fine. She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
She's not really like as interesting of a protagonist as Saga is, that's for sure. But she also doesn't have a whole lot to work with in terms of like her personality, I guess.
Right. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this DLC either. Like, I mean, it's like a couple hours it took us to get through it.
Right.
So, I was surprised that we didn't see Ati in the lake house at some point because
Yeah,
he's
he's
obviously in
everywhere.
Alan Wake 2 and he's also in Control. So I was like, I was expecting him to show up at some point, but he's just not there.
That was kind of a bummer.
Um, but yeah, they definitely, like I said, wrap things into Control as well. It's also kind of like a big, not necessarily a big preview, but it's kind of like a little look ahead to seeing like what Control 2 is gonna be looking like and all that sort of stuff, which is interesting that you would get that in this DLC for this game.
Right.
Because like they have you do like the whole light or flicking the light bulb 3 times to like change things. You go to the motel that like transforms you to different places, and then you end up in the oldest house at one point, where you meet Jesse's brother, who's just like, things are bad. I don't know why you're here. This isn't good. Uh-oh, you should probably go back to
And
where
for
you're
some
supposed to
reason
come.
it glitched for a minute where
Oh
like I
man,
couldn't do anything.
okay. So that section bugged for you for a second because of that. But also when you loaded into the motel, you were
Hmm.
like turning around to look, and your body didn't move, but your head did. So you just did an exorcist head turn.
I forgot about that. You're
And I
right.
was like, whoa.
That was so funny. Also, we warped into my eyeballs at one
We
point.
did also warp into your eyeballs at one point. That is true.
So, there are some glitches, but not game breaking and they're kind of
Just
funny.
some fun
Except for
ones.
that one was a little confusing where I was like, what do I do? And then I just left and came back and then it's like, oh, now you can talk.
Yeah. That part was obviously a little confusing for you because you're just like, who's this character? Where's this place at? I don't know any of this stuff. What am I doing here? We'll learn about
Yeah,
that.
no,
We'll learn about
I
all
had
of
no
that.
idea.
We'll learn about all that soon. That's all I'll say for now. But it was interesting because I was like, oh, I know this place. Oh, I know this place. I know this person. Huh, this is interesting. Anyways. And then they showed like a weird, like, in between shot of like presumably New York, and it looked all up.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Also, I guess spoiler alert. We've been spoiling everything, so I don't know why you're still listening if you don't know what's going on. But and also trigger warning. Turns out the story of the painter is real up.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ.
I mean, unsurprisingly, but yes.
Yeah, yeah, but like, oh boy. We didn't get like the definitive answer, but I looked it up later because I had an idea of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you looked it up or not, or if you just assumed because like it was pretty clearly spelled out for
I think
us.
you said it when we were there, but I was also like, so
Leaky
I don't remember
nose.
exactly what you had said.
Okay, so what happened is that Frenchman was experimenting on the Painter Man, and Painter
Right.
Man was just like going through it,
Right.
and like lost all his inspiration and lost his will to live and all that.
Right.
So he decided that like the way to get back at him was to like stab himself and then like paint using his blood while he was like committing suicide, basically. Which is like what the painting was that kept yelling at us.
Right, 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 right.
It was the final painting made of that, and then the Frenchman like cut that piece of the wall so that he could study the painting because he felt like the power of the guy was like imbued in the wall because he did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh God. And so like that's what triggered the whole thing at the bottom of the lake house.
Yeah. Everyone just going off the deep end.
Mm.
It was also wild that
Oh,
like
and she ends up like murdering that
yeah,
dude.
yeah, I was about to say like it's wild that like you go down to like the final level of the lake house and you're expecting to fight that guy and then like the wife shows up and just beats his head in with a brick and it's just like, all right, now I'm gonna fight you, and you're like,
Yep.
all right, okay. It's a lot, very excessive.
She just kept going. I was like, oh, I think,
Yeah, it was
I
like
think
it took like two
I think
hits
he's
and he was
dead.
definitely dead. Then she hit him for like another 8 times after. And I was like, ooh,
She took
ooh.
double tapping very seriously.
She made sure.
Yeah. Oh my God, she made sure.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to fight her. I was like, oh hi, I guess. Great.
And you beat her by panic shooting.
Oh, I did beat her by panic shooting.
The way to do it.
Um, I ran out of bullets in
Shotgun.
my shotgun, and I was like, what do I do? I pulled out my pistol and just like started panic shooting as she walked up on me.
And she's like,
And
ooh.
she's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna die now. I'm like, oh, cool, great. You're like, that's the way to do it, panic shooting.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Thank you, I did it.
But yeah, and then you beat the DLC and you get like warped out of the lake house and you're just like, what? What? What just
But
happened?
SBS is basically just like, man, that's a weird day. Anyway,
Anyway,
also
you're
like her entire team died.
yeah, no kidding.
Rip.
It's not a good time for her.
No, I mean, anytime you have to be around those pink dudes is a bad time.
Mm-hmm. Don't like that.
Mm-mm.
Don't like the paint men.
No, I do not like the paint men.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Monster, get out.
Paint man, get out. uh,
Is there anything else we missed?
I don't think so.
No, neither.
But yeah, that's the second Alan Wake 2 DLC, which I think is probably the last one, most likely.
I would assume it's the last
Yeah.
one.
So now we get set up for they're making a multiplayer shooter based off of Control,
What?
which is a very weird thing. But yeah, you go into the oldest house and defeat enemies. It's a team-based
What?
PvE FPS.
What?
Yeah, and then Control 2 will come out at some point,
That sounds more interesting to me.
which will eventually play Control,
Mm-hmm.
so you can understand what's
And
going
I'll understand
on.
everything.
Yeah, and then you can be prepped and ready to go
Yes.
for Control 2.
Yes.
As you should. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that DLC was fun. Like I said,
Yeah, it was.
I was intrigued by how they combined both of these games kind of together and mushed them together and also made it a preview for the next game and everything. Kind of a lot going on in just a couple of hours of DLC gameplay.
Yeah.
And Al
And
was
we got to
very
spin my
scared.
head around.
You got to spin your head around, and Al was very scared and cautious.
Very, very scared and cautious. Like, you gotta be careful.
I did like at one point you were just like, you're probably real like not happy about like watching me do this so slow. You would be just running around and just going ham, and I was like, yeah, probably. Wee, just running around. Not a care in the world.
Sorry.
No brain cell. No, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. You know we have different play styles when it comes to the scary games.
Yeah, we do. You knew what you were getting into when you
Yeah,
decided you were going to
exactly.
watch me do it.
Absolutely.
We just didn't expect you to have a faucet nose.
That was just a bad byproduct. Not
Yes.
nothing to do with you or anything. It was just my nose is like.
But you're good now.
I'm good now. Well, for now until it happens again, because these drastic temperature changes are gonna probably mess with me once again, and I'll have
Yeah,
to deal with
that's
it
fair.
again, and I'll be like, God,
That's fair.
I hate this. This is
Hate it.
stinky.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Anyways, that's Alan Wake 2's The Lake House. You can go to a house on the lake that is very underground, and bad things are happening there. Unsurprisingly.
Unsurprisingly, things cannot be normal.
In that game, no.
No.
Not at all. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool where you can find past episodes, this podcast, and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast, which we have got a new episode out. You probably saw it over the weekend. But yes, we watched Owl's Pick this month, or I guess last month, because it's a new month right by the time you're listening to this. We watched a goofy movie.
A goofy movie.
Yuck.
A yuck.
We learned all about how to come together as a father and son when you're goofy and your son's a teenager, and how to make a coming of age tale that stars Goofy.
And do the perfect cast.
All that you can find and more in that our latest episode of our Patreon exclusive podcast, and all of our other exclusive podcast episodes that we've done are up there as well, along with some other bonus content you can find up there on the Patreon. It's all fun. It's all worth it. Yeah. Next week, we'll talk about something else as November creeps along.
Oh my God, it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.